Welcome to another Disney Infinity Toy Box tutorial. We're continuing with the Death Star theme. We've done our hangar, we've done our blast doors, but what I've built here is a detention block. And what I want to show here is more on constructing this particular setup. I wanted this block with the slopes at this particular angle. So you'll see here, we haven't done any prison doors yet, that I'll show you in another clip, but I want to show you these sloped walls. Because if you blow those walls, you'll then be able to fall through into the trash, the garbage chute, basically. So what I wanted to play is if you come back here, you can blast those doors and escape from the Imperials. And they are collapsible walls, but you can't get walls to normally appear in this particular setup. So this is the really idea of this clip, is to show you how to just rearrange the objects so you can get them to appear pretty much what you like. So let's just say, for example, we've got the stormtroopers attacking us. We want to get out of here. Okay, so we can't hold them off, there's too many of them. So what we can do here is we can turn around, we can shoot this wall and blow a hole, which will now allow us to escape through the garbage chute. So let's kill a few of these. And we jump around. And miss their hand. I don't know where you're shooting for, let's come through. Right, so we're trapped here. So we'll jump now down the garbage chute. We'll do a quick jump down there. We made a shot hole through the wall. Can't see anyone at the moment just in case they come down. And if we drop through there, we've now fallen down into the trash compactor. Now this trash compactor, this is just a toy that you can get in your, I think it's the takeover toy box, which you can add to your set. So everything else is just objects that you pick. There's no logic needed. It's more how to assemble those parts. So the rest of the clip is just to show you how to move the basic shapes to form the detention block. I hope you like what I'm going to do now, but be patient because it's quite long and a bit tricky. So we start with a blank room, and what we'll do now is we'll create some steps using some basic blocks. Now the basic blocks are unlocked from the word go, so go down to simple toys. And if we go across, we're going to look some steps. There we go, there's some steps. Okay, we'll move this across here and we'll put 2 steps up going into our group. Okay, and then we'll need our walkway, so I need to get some long sections. We'll do them in 3s. Now the real trick here is not the building blocks, because the building blocks tend to be everything in square, and what we're going to use is the path tool to allow us to twist the items into place, even though none of these items are going to move. They're all going to be fixed stationary. So now that we've got our little box, what we're going to do is I'm going to pick all the items that we need to build this. So I need 3 building blocks. Yeah, that's for one side. I need another 3 on the other item here as well. Now one thing I can never find when you find these, because there's so many toys now, if you get to unlock them, it's trying to find them all. So what I do, I'm just going to go back to my unfiltered options. You can't see that in the screen, but I'm going to my unfiltered, and I'm going to flick through until I get to my gameplay options. And there is a filter for gameplay, but when I filter these through, I can't find them. But if you do it in the unfiltered section, as you scan through, and if you buy these from the store, you've got 3 collapsible walls. So keep finding them. You've got the wooden one, you've got the brick one, and you've got the concrete one. Sadly, you can't change the colour of these, but these are the walls we want to set up with our down our walkway, so we can create a hole and fall through to the next level. So I need 6 of these. I'm just going to position these here at the top of the screen, and these are only going here because I need these parts. I'm just preparing them already. So the position of these doesn't really matter, it's just so I need, these are the parts that I need. Right, now we've got those, now we can start building our detention blocks. So let's go back up to our, let's get our creativity toys up. Yeah, so we've got the items here, so let's go back to our toys, get to the creativity toys, and let's go to the path creator. Now pay attention to where you place these parts, yeah? Very important where you're going to put these particular items. We need a few of these. So I'm going to use this tool and I'm going to link these shapes to this particular options, but I need a couple of them. So on the very corner here, right at the very corner of the box, to make sure on the box, I'm going to place that box in. Now what I'm going to do, once I've placed that in, I'm going to move it up and then go up at an angle. So I'm going to go across one and up one. So cross and then up. So it's tilted in at an angle. And then once I've done, I'm going to circle out and leave that one and do another parter. So pick the corner again, press X to confirm it. Now come back one and up one and place that part there. This is so we can tilt the wood and tilt the actual piece of the doors. Now we also need another one. So I've put the pathing directly on the last dot, and this time I'm now going to go 2 across and 2 up. And when you click onto there, I want you to then go 1 across and then 1 up. Okay, they must be in this configuration. So luckily I've done the hard work for you. So I'm going to go back across, click once there, go up. So 2 across, 2 up, hit the box, then 1 across and then 1 up. So they are our units that we need. So that's where we're going to connect all these shapes to these particular paths. So we are going to need another toy, and what we're going to need is a button. And this button is important. We'll delete it when it's finished, but this is important while we're building it. I picked hand seller for a reason, because we can keep shooting the button here. Right, so before we start adding the items, we've got to make sure these things aren't actually moving, so they're fixed. So let's come out of here for a second. Let's get the wand out. So let's go through all the properties now of all these. So I'm going to click on each path tool that we've created, go to properties, and I'm going to turn them off. Okay, don't want them running at all. So circle out. Go to the next one, and each one of these I'm going to switch all the properties off. So I'm clicking onto the green item, hit my square button with the wand, go to properties and switch the item off. So again, highlight the object, square button, down to properties, switch it off. Do the same with the last one. Go down to properties, switch the item off. So they are now switched off. Now this button is to help us reset them. So I want to press this button, new logic connection on pressed. I want to go to each of those toys, and I'm going to go reset and stop. Okay, so I'm going to do it on all of them though. So same thing. So press button again, new logic connection. Click into that box there, reset and stop. Okay. And these are vital, because when we put the shapes on them, they're not going to do anything. But when we hit the reset button, they'll reset to match those path tools that we've created. And the path tools were essential to be at that particular angle, and that allows us to get those diagonal walls that appear. So I've switched over to the last one, I think. And we get the and there's the last one go. We'll put that one across. So all those items are now connected to that switch. Now we're ready to now pick these shapes. So let's pick our first panel, and that's new path connection. We're not doing a logic, just path connection to it, and we're linking it to our shapes. Let's go to our first one, which is this corner unit here. Right, and let's link it to that item. Now when we link it and do new path tool, it comes in flat, and that's why at first glance you can only get these straight walls. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to go to this particular object, and because we've done our path, we're going to go properties, toy box path, and we're going to go across the line of the path, and that will make sure it twists. Now we have various other settings I like to change. So for the bottom panel we have a certain group, and I want you to move it across 10 places. Now always it differs depending on which angle you've set this up in your toy box, so it's either -10 or +10. But what we do is we've changed those settings and nothing's happened, it's still the same. But the reason we go to our button now, we shoot the button here, you'll see that the box has now moved -10 and come back to the position where I want it to go. So it's now at an angle, and it's moved apart. So I'm now going to do my second part. So we grab the next piece, new path connection. I'm going to link that to this tool. Okay, again comes up straight. So let's go to the properties of it, go to our properties. Now this is the middle panel, so in this panel it wants to go 6 across, so I believe it's -6, so we go, make sure we 6 it along the path, we change the horizontal axis to -6, come out there, Like I say, it's not always going to guarantee to be -6, because it depends if we've done it on the other side of the blocks. It may be the other way around. And the last one, use path connection, add it to the path. And this one's going to be 2. So the 3 lines basically go, the first one's 2, the next one's 6, and then the last one is 10. And it's either going to be positive or negative depending on how you inserted the tools. So it's not always the case that the measurements I've given you are the right way round. But just go with the fact that it's going to have to be aligned with the actual item and make sure it is 2, 6 and 10. Now we need to do the other panel, and we'll do the other side. Now this, because it's the other side, it's slightly reversed, so you'll see me probably get this one wrong. So I'll hide this item in here, connect this first item, new path connection. I'm going to point that here on the box here. Okay, our box comes up straight, highlight it, go to properties, go to path tool, go down and make it along the path. Then go down. Now it's -10, so in this case it should be the opposite. So we'll just do -10 again. So say for example, as the last one was 10, we'll do this -10. But because we're facing the other way, it's the mirror image, we're going to press it, it now shoots forward. So occasionally you go, oh, I've told you the wrong measurement. And if that's the case, the line is fine, just reverse it. So occasionally if you find that occurs, highlight the object again, go to properties, type box path, and this time it has to be the opposite way round. So instead of being negative value, it's going to be +10. Circle out, come out of here, and then shoot target, which now moves that back in place perfectly on the side. So we do the other 2. So again, remind you, the second one is +6, and the third one is going to be +2. Click in that box, properties, fix it along the path, go down. So this is the middle panel, so we're going to move this to +6. Come over here, shoot target, make it with 1 out of the way. Come on, 1 get out of the way. Right, sorry, always. That's now those 2 move together and do the last and final one. So new path connection. Once we've attached this on, we've then got our bottom diagonal slope. So we need the blocks to be the little section in the middle, which we will put on at that moment next. So we'll change that to 2. Now the boxes are slightly different again, so we'll show you those measurements. So we'll shoot those. Right, so we've now got those in place. We now need to put the boxes on. So click on this box, and we're going to link it to the same path. So go to box, so it's on this side, so we link it to this path, and we connect it in, the box appears there on the screen. Now the boxes are basically the same horizontal, 2, 6 and 10, but the difference is we have to change the vertical by 2 and the offset by 4. So what you're looking here is I'm playing around with the settings. So I've changed here now, I've changed the horizontal to 4, vertical to 2, and because it's blocks, I'm going to change, because there's no rotation of this item. I'm going to move the 10 blocks across. And I believe this is wrong, so when we test that, right, no blocks appears. Where the hell's it gone? It's gone the other side. So I've gone the wrong way, and I've gone 10 upwards. So it should have been 10 along the horizon, just like the other item. So let's readjust that setting again. But if you do it in stages and keep hitting the button, you can make that amendment and then hit that movement. So we'll go into that box, go to properties, so the horizontal should have stayed as 10. So let's take that back. That should stay as 10, so remove that because that's the same as the screen. Right, and this one should have been 4, so we'll change that one. So it goes 10, the 2, let's run that again, see how that looks. Right, so it's now gone for some wrong reason along the other way, so go back into here again, go back to our properties, so it's gone the wrong far way back, so we'll go back down. So let's move this to the other side because it's moved to the other object, and you can see just playing around with this, you can just adjust it and make that small measurement here and there. Let's test this now. Come off one, get off one, right, shoot it. And now you can see that is the position I wanted. I needed it slightly set back. Yeah, so we go into the properties. So let's have a look at the properties of this box. So the properties we've got for this path tool is that it was 10 along the horizontal, which was the same as the box below. The vertical set to 2, and the forward and backward offset was set to 4. So the other items will still be 2 and 4 as well. Yeah, and we also need to make sure then it goes 6 and then 2 like we did with the other panels. Yeah, and when I'm doing this I always keep getting confused, so you can always go back, you can always check it, you can always look at your properties and just make sure the whole set is vertical, horizontal, and all those settings are there on the screen. So if I go back onto this object now, so we know the second box is 6, so we can link this to the path. We should be able to get this straight first time this time. If we go into here, right, properties, again it's square either way, so it's not going to worry about the moving along the path, but we will set that to 6, we'll put that to 2, and we'll do the vertical offset, forward and offset 4. Okay, and again hit the reset button, and that's now perfectly in place in that box, the final last box. So it's the 2 and 4 bit you need to change. Now I slightly cheated, I've done the other panel. Instead of wasting up time you me doing the whole side exactly the same on the other side, I fast forward the next part. So in a second when I put this last block on, you'll see the other panel get done as well. But just remember there it goes 10, 2 and 4, it goes 6, 2 and 4, and then 2, 2 and 4. Yeah, and the other one will be slightly different with slight measurement on the other side, but I'm just going to do those panels now automatically to help speed things up. So there you go, I've got the other parts I prepared earlier. Right, so now we're going to do the other sloping slant, which is why we needed those other ones over at that side of the screen. So let's do this side first. So let's grab one of those panels. Okay, new path connection. Let's link it to this particular, the second one that we've done, which is this version. So okay, so what we need to do is now highlight that object, go to the properties. Right, we do need to switch it over so it will now tilt. Okay, we know we're going to have to go down and move the horizontal, and we know that should be on 10. And on this one also we found out I just need to slightly adjust it, so I'm just going to bring it forward 1 on that item. So if I come back out of here, see if that goes. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, that is bang on perfect the way I want it. So again 10 still moves it across. The only difference on that second route, it was just the offset was 1 was what I wanted. So enjoy this connection. Middle section now you should know is 6. And really what this clip is showing you is if you don't want to do a detention center, detention cell block or whatever you want to do, it shows you how you can reuse the shapes and position them. And these path tools don't have to be a moving route, they're just there to help you to guide and build your things in a certain way, because normal shapes won't let you do it. They say the rules to that shape won't let it move. Oh, that's a classic example. I forgot to move the rotate it, which has a big effect of it when you change these items. So we now get the last one done on this side. But when you come to do your own toy boxes, just think how what you're trying to make. Someone mentioned about I'm doing a lot of Star Wars clips. Can I do some Marvel clips? This detention block doesn't have to be Star Wars. It can be a shield base if you wanted to. So depending on how it's used on your story, it doesn't always have to be a Star Wars item. I'm just showing you how the different ways to how you can use them in your toy box. And that one there is set. Right, to help speed things along, I think I've done the same on the other side. I think I have. So if I hit the refresh now, I've done exactly the same to speed things along. So I've done the top side as well. So I've cut some time here just because it makes it quite a long clip. So I've now got our section. I now need to put a roof on the top of that for our cell block. So I'm going to go back to here. And strangely enough, I'm going to need another path tool. And the reason for that is the panel won't go on top. So this is why we're using these. As I was just saying just a bit ago, you can't put these items on because once they realise another object's in the way, it won't let you place it. But if it's linked to a path tool, then they will overlap. So what I've done there is I've added this path, which is exactly 3 movements up. Yeah. So I'm just going to change the property of that path tool, and I'm going to switch it off. And that tool, like I said, was 3 boxes up from the bottom. So with the button on now, when we do the reset, we've switched it off. And we've linked this button now that when we press that, anything we add to that bar will now also reset. So we go back to our tools and get our basic shape back up. So go to our filter, simple shapes, and let's get the flat roofing panel. We can add this to that path. So let's bring it across. Where is it? There's the flat panel. And just to prove a point, when I bring these across, because they now connect to the shapes, it won't let me get the item in, and sometimes it snaps in the wrong place. And this is the main reason why I'm showing you how to use the path tool here. So I'm just going to ping it into the air, and then I'm just now going to link it to this path. So on that object, if I now link it to the path, connect it, now it wedges in between them. Probably a little bit lower than wanted, so probably going to raise it up and then move it back along the panel. So same logic applies. If you get it wrong, it's not an issue. So we're going to highlight this item. So highlight the shape. Go to properties. Right, so vertical on that thing, we'll lift it higher up. So let's see if that works. So let's make the vertical 1. And then I'm going to change the offset probably by 4 items on the square to move it down. Right, let's have a look. So let's reset that. Okay, height's good, but I've gone in the wrong angle. Should have moved it back like the other two, but the height is a good line. Right, so let's go back to that shape, the top, if I can reach it. So I've changed that setting now, so have a look now. So I move the setting back, and that's now like part of the right location, but it needs to be further down. So let's go back to our properties. So we look down here on our settings here, look at the settings, so I'm changing that. Give that a go. And it wasn't 5, it needed that a little bit further. Yep. So just a little bit more, and then we've got it. So you'll see on there it was just vertical 1. So go back to the properties. So the offset there wanted to be 6 on this particular case, and the vertical sight off 1. So now when I hit my button on the screen, that's now our building, our corridor, like in the Star Wars film. So all we need to do now is to make it look a bit more Star Warsy and format it all. So what we're going to do here is let's hide some panels. So let's put these panels on, and you can put these back on. Now you notice when you put panels, if you twist them around, they'll fit on horizontal against the box. But if I fit these in to hide my shapes put together, so you'll have no idea that they're groups. Then we go to the other side, twist it around, and that's where I'll put my sliding steps. So there we go. So we've now got that item now on the screen. So what we can do also, if we go to buildings, you go back to buildings, and we choose the Death Star one. And again, you have to. This comes in various playsets now. So we get these little items here. Now, because I put some shapes on, sometimes these shapes don't fit. So if you look here, I'm trying to connect it. It won't let me do it. It won't let me put that panel on. Every time I get close, it doesn't want to do it. So in this case, I'm thinking, well, why won't it go? I can't move it on the screen. I can't twist it round. As soon as I want to go onto it, it won't do it because they overlap each other, which is very frustrating. We can try corner panel. That won't work. So corner panel, same thing applies with them. So what I'm going to do instead then is I'm going to delete the two side panels off there and put those in front of the item instead. So let's just get rid of those shapes back that I've just done. Careful when you delete them, not to delete the other items. If you delete any of the path tools, by the way, the shapes will go back to normal, which is horrendous. So careful on that one. Right, so if I fix these up, move these across, now that looks slightly more, that's slightly better. I'll have a corner unit there, bring that back a bit. Same with the other one. So move the corner out, so there you go. All I've got to do now is colour the items in, so that's good. So if I now get my wand up, now be careful with this if you've done your whole playset, because you don't want to change the whole lot. So at the moment they're all the same colour, so I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to choose the Imperial, is it Death Star theme? I think it is Death Star. Where is it? It's Death Star tile, I think it is. Well, there's, yeah, Death Star tile. Click onto that one, so everything now goes, theme it all. So everything's gone blue. All that dark blue colour. I don't even think that's blue, is it? No, it's not. It's, like, it's a more of a purple colour. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to change that one to the walkway tool, which is the Hoth one. Quite like that. The floor gear looks like a walking panel. So I now have to click on each one. And that's basically how you build the get the detention block to look like that, to get those slopes and tools at an angle, so that in your story you can turn around and shoot those items up. So it just gives you an impression of it. As you can't colour in the concrete walls, a bit of a shame, but you obviously hide everything else out, and then you've got your panel that in your story your guys can shoot the hole, and then they can break the way through the rest of the story. I hope you find this clip. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas of what you can do with your toy box. I'll carry on finish off detention blocks, and I'll hopefully get another clip on by the end of next week to show you how to do the prison doors, and hope you enjoy them. Thanks for watching. Cheers.